mentioned betrayal. You mentioned relationships. Everything's on the table. So I'm excited for this. And I appreciate you being vulnerable, authentic, which that's what attracted me to you. I tell this story. You've heard it. I had like 3 guys that I want to get connected to once I moved to Arizona. Yeah. You were one of the 3. And the reason, integrity, someone that has a big heart to love, man of faith, obviously successful as well. And for me, I always want to surround myself with like-minded people. You become who you.
Surround yourself.
I've never done that before, but I'm going to keep doing that. You become who you.
Surround yourself with.
Man, I like this. This is going to be a good one.
We're talking about communication. Let's go. We got it.
Right? I mean, actually, you know what? You're someone that I had to write down, you know, you have a lot of stuff that you've done, man. 28 years old. This is just in the last 5 years. 28 years old. Podcasts, Wolf of Wall Street, Brad Lee, Casey Adams, David Meltzer, Entrepreneurs on Fire, shout out JLD. You have 200 plus insurance agents, #1 category winner last 2 years, over $6 million in sales last year, executive leadership counselor for the company, top-ranked sales manager in the world for this industry. This is what I love about you. You have a big heart. You're a family man. Bought your mom her dream house. Give it up for that. Bought your dad a car. Became the first millionaire in your family last year. Give it up for him. With all that being said, let's get into this. And I actually want to ask you, obviously you have like, you know, financially, business-wise, you have a lot of success, but you as a person, if someone said, who is David Carpenter, what would you say?
I would say David Carpenter is a vessel for God, a vessel for people, a person that has a big heart, a person that is willing to do whatever it takes for his family, a person that's willing to do whatever it takes for his friends, for his team, someone that stands for what he believes in, and someone that surrounds himself with great people as you guys are here tonight. That's what I would say.
I love it, man. I love it. Let's take it back. I know your story. Maybe 1 or 2 people know your story here, but this is an incredible story of perseverance. You've had a lot of challenges that a lot of people would have just been like, man, this is too much. Like, a lot, man, especially early on when you started.
Yeah.
So take it back. Let's say high school David. You have a jumper, so I know you were an athlete. I know you're a hooper. So let's take it back right there. What's high school David like?
Ask Marcus. I went to high school with him. High school was good. I had a lot of insecurities, I would say, in terms of, you know, finding myself. I was never the most athletic. I was never the best at everything. I was like one of those like grunt like workers. I was willing to do whatever it took. I was just a hard worker. I think that's like kind of who I was. I was an average student. I knew I wanted to be in business. I saw my dad have a successful business. I saw him also lose everything due to ego and pride. So there's a lot of that in my story we're going to get into. But yeah, I mean, pretty average overall person growing up in high school. I mean, ask Marcus.
He confirms.
Yeah, I mean,
average.
Yeah, CB student. Like, come on. I was a jock, but I wasn't the best. I wasn't the best looking. Like, just average, to be honest.
So after this average guy was a hooper, what happened?
So after that, so I can kind of fast forward. I got into network marketing. How many of you guys have ever heard of network marketing or been involved?
Yep.
Okay, so that was a great vehicle. I learned a lot about sales, service, dealing with people, communication skills, which we're going to talk a lot about tonight. And I was in that business for 5 years. That business went under. When that went under, girlfriend left me for another guy who's making 80 grand. Not a month, not a week, a year. She regrets
Big
that
baller.
one. And that was one of the greatest things that's ever happened to me. This is back in 2016. From there, I decided I need to work on myself. And that's what I love, why a lot of people are here. Maybe you're where you want to be, maybe you're not. But there's got to be moments in your life where you look yourself in the mirror and you say, like, you know what? There's got to be more, right? And I had a moment when I was like 21, 22 years old where I was like, yo, David's like more than this. Like, you're not just... I was a waiter at Papado Seafood Kitchen. I was like, maybe she left me for a reason. Like, right? Maybe I do need to go work on myself. Maybe I do need to go to work and work my butt off and forget about relationships for a while and go to work. So that's when I actually was looking for an opportunity. And I'm blessed and fortunate that a good friend of mine who messaged me about insurance. And at this point, I'm like, shoot, whatever, like it's better than serving at a seafood restaurant, smelling like seafood at the end of the night. So I decided to take my test, and I ended up failing it 4 times. Man. 4 times, which is the max amount of times you can actually take it. So I had to go out of state to take it a week before my exam.
They said, no, we don't want you here in this state. Go ahead.
I'm just being honest. And how many times people like give up? Like I had to go find a way. If you want to remember that, you got to find a way to win in life. If you're someone that sees a problem as a roadblock, it's like you're going to stop yourself from going to the next level. So I was like, that's a road bump for me. So I decided to commitment, right? I said I was going to do something, so I'm going to do it. And I go down and I travel pretty far to go take the exam. This was in New Mexico. Let me back up a little bit. That week, when I set my exam, I got a phone call. I was waiting tables. I'm behind on my bills, by the way. And it was from the hospital. I had to leave. I had to go to the hospital. Found out, long story short, my brother had died. And he wasn't going to make it. And that was really, really tough. That was tough. And I had 2 choices. Go back to normal, say, woe is me, right? Girlfriend left me, I'm broke, I'm a waiter. I could just fall into all the deep, dark, negative voices that were in my head. Or I can say, you know what? No, like I'm going to dedicate this to my brother's life. So obviously chose the right decision. And a week after that funeral, I went out and took my exam out of state. That night,
crazy story.
Get this. Talk about adversity. Right before your biggest breakthroughs, you're always going to get tested, right? Whatever you're going after, you're going to have a testing phase. That night, the person I was staying with, I was so broke, I could not afford a hotel. Literally $450 was my rent. I had to borrow from my mom. I told her I'd never have to borrow money from her again, by the way, before I left. I go down there. I'm held at gunpoint because the person I'm staying with gets robbed the night before my exam. So I literally remember this guy's in a clown mask, puts a gun to my head, and was like, if you move, you're dead. And my test was like 7-8 hours later, an hour away from where I was staying. So that was just some of the adversity that I like went through just to get licensed for an all commission based sales job. Yeah, pretty crazy, but that's like, for me, when I passed it, I felt like a peace, and I felt like God was like, hey, this is where you're supposed to be, and with this much challenge, like whatever you're gonna face, I feel like you're just gonna go blow past. So that's a little bit of my journey just to even get into sales and get into even starting where I was.
So what happened on that test?
Yeah. What happened on the test? I passed. I mean, I don't even remember. It's kind of blacked out.
You passed. Give it up for David.
I passed, yeah. That's right, yeah, I passed.
And then what? You just all of a sudden make a bunch of money. What was the process like, especially as all commission sales? I mean, how many people in here in sales have been in sales at some point? A lot. So, it takes a while.
Yeah. Having been all commissioned for the last 5.5 years. It's been amazing. Yeah, what happened right afterwards is I started studying for my exam. By the way, my trainer told me that I was going to fail. He was threatened by me because I was starting to attract a lot of people into my business, and he didn't want to help me. So I remember going to my first appointment. He didn't show up, and I had to basically train myself. Like, again, finding a way to win. And it was the most embarrassing presentation ever. I couldn't even finish. Even if you would have said yes, I wouldn't have known what to do. And I embarrassed myself enough that I was going to learn and study all night to make sure that never happened again. So that's kind of how it started. And I just knew, I saw the concept. I saw a need there because, again, on the most desperate time of a family's life, they have to pay for a funeral. And I had went through it where my family didn't have money for a funeral for my brother. So 2 and 2 is like, I believe in making sure you have money there when someone does pass. And the second one is I knew that people made money. So I was like, well, I just need to find a way to like make the money. So I was willing to do whatever it took. And I think it's about, if you guys want to write this down, it's not about the amount of resources that are around you. It's you being resourceful right? And just making that decision that no matter what challenges I have, the more problems come with more opportunities. And
run that back. That was good. More problems come with?
Yeah, more problems come with more opportunities. So if you want to be a CEO, you want to run a company, you guys got to handle bigger problems than everybody else. So I get excited. I get excited about problems and challenges. When agents call me and they have problems, I'm like, great, let's go. Like, this means there's another level.
Love that.
So, yeah, that's kind of like just the beginning and the start.
Walk me through those first, you're 5.5 years in. Walk me through those first 2 years.
Yeah, the first 2. Yeah, that's good. That's a really good question. Fast forward, the month before I had a big breakthrough, I had a bunch of people coming through. I had to train them. This was like 60 days in. I'd only made $1,500, which is not anything, right? I was making more serving tables, and that was my second month. And that's when I got the text where it was like, good luck, you're going to fail. I'm not training any of your people. And that was like what I needed, motivation. So what I did was I stayed up all night and I studied my script, and I took my team on the road. Because at the time, by the way, like, to put in perspectives, we sell supplemental life insurance benefits to union members like police officers, firefighters, teachers, veterans. We work with that niche, the facet of the insurance industry. So we find people's gaps and we make sure they're actually fully insured. So I take my team down to Tucson, Arizona, right? And I was just bold. I was like, sometimes when you're a leader, you might not even know fully what you're doing, but you have to let, I feel like, God or like intuition kind of lead you sometimes. And you got to step out, right, of your comfort zone. And that's what I was willing to do. And I think that's like a big part of your breakthrough is just like what you did yesterday, stepping out, getting out of your comfort zone, calling on someone. That's what it's all about. And that's what I did. I took people with me. I studied my script. I put the team on my back. And that month I made $12,000. I had a big breakthrough, big light in my head go off. And I was like, I can do this.
It's amazing.
And that was kind of the catalyst to a great first year. I ended up making 6 figures. After that year came a lot of pride, a lot of being stagnant and kind of taking my foot off the pedal. And everything I kind of built up, half my team quit on me because of pride, because of me stopped leading from the front. And I almost lost it all my second year in the business. And there was rumors, lies. I remember I got in a bad car accident, almost died. I was in the ICU. It was right after one of our conferences. And I was getting a lot of recognition and just not giving it back to the team. We're going to get into leadership stuff here. But, man, like, that was a realization that none of the people that I was, like, going out with and buying tables for and, like, going to dinners with, none of them came to the hospital. But they were so quick to come to my table. They were so quick to sit at my table when I'm buying them dinner. And those same people are the ones that left. So one thing that Jesse talked about is surrounding yourselves, and this might sound cliche, surround yourselves with good people. The status and all that, if that's all you're trying to follow, like, dude, those are the fastest people to leave you for someone else. And that's when I dedicated my life after that moment, that life or death situation where I was going to surround myself with good-hearted people that are on the same mission, that want to have impact, that are doing things for the right reason, great intentions. Marcus, shout out to you. He was one of the people that were there at the hospital for me.
Give it up for Marcus. Day one.
And guys, it was a blessing. All those people that left that were egotistical, just threw so much shade, so much rumors on my name. It rebuilt, and it slowly rebuilt. And this was back in 2019. It was like 2018, 2019 were humbling years. And I decided I was going to get out of the cave, go lead from the front, go do all the stuff that I didn't want to do. Led from the front, like was top in sales while leading the organization, while doing all the hiring, while doing everything, just worked my butt off. 1 year, sprinted from 2019 to 2020. And I went from being in debt to making over, it was like 700,000 cash with my PVFC was over $1 million. And that was like 2020. So from being in debt and like half my team, like everybody leaving, to rebuilding in 1 year, it was like, boom, back.
It's amazing.
And that was when we met.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, a little bit later.
2020, right?
2021.
I was it was downtown. I was downtown in the penthouse.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Bro, that's wild.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember Chantel? No, I was kidding.
Yeah, the
We're being real here. Hey, no.
I didn't know we dropping names, man.
No filters. I'm like, I got some pictures, Jesse, that I can pull up. We're not going to talk about that.
Maybe we should have that conversation. Anyway.
So leading from the front in my business is going out, taking people with you. Back then I was in home, in the cars. Now we're virtual through Zoom, thank God. But I would take people with me, sometimes 2 or 3 in someone's house, like random person's house, don't even know who they are. And one of the biggest breakthroughs was, you guys got to think about not just about being busy, but being efficient. So you got to find how you can, even though it might be uncomfortable, find the shortcuts to being the most efficient with your time. And that was booking off of the client's phone and having them book a referral for me to go sit right after the house. So, like, think about that. So that was the biggest breakthrough for me, is taking 3 guys with me, and you don't know what's going to happen with this person answering, but I'm collecting the referrals, and I'm like, okay, well, I can go just sell leads where it's a cold connection, cold relationship, or I can build so much rapport, so much connection with this family, and then have them literally call the referral for me in the home, endorse me, and I'm going to go from here to there, and I'll just do this ripple effect. And that was like the big breakthrough, where I wrote, like, it was like 50-something thousand in business, which back then was unheard of, like back where I was, starting out. So super uncomfortable. If you guys want to, like, even think this through, like, I had to come home, if my armpits weren't drenched and I didn't smell like crap, or my deodorant didn't work anymore, then I knew, like, my day wasn't successful. I based my level of growth about my level of uncomfortability. And that was every day. How am I going to get myself uncomfortable today? Let me just throw myself out there. Like, I swear, doing that was huge, huge growth.
That's amazing. And you mentioned, like, yeah, we're more in a digital world and we have Zoom. For clients, that's great. And also, you could have done that with your team, bro, but you don't. And we were literally just talking about this. Like, that's why I admire and respect so much, that you're literally flying out to these teams in different cities, belly to belly, face to face, pouring into them, showing love, showing how much you care, training in person. Why do you do that?
It's all about relationships. Like, your people, you gotta show them that you love and you care about them. Like, people know your intentions, and it's not something you can fake. And that was, like, the biggest change was, I was gonna make it more than just money. When your people know that you care, now they care what you know. Make sense? So when you connect with someone, you need to connect with them first before you ask for someone's hand. You can't be just, if you guys want to write this down, you need to deposit 90% before you withdraw 10. So I can't just be correcting this person, right? I need to build a connection with them. I need to show them that I care for them. Sit down, ask them. If you're in leadership here, find out what your people want long term. Build a plan for them, work it backwards, and commit that, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here as a coach. I'm going to be here as a friend first. Like, I think that's really it. Like, I'm your friend first. I'm your mentor, but I'm also your friend first. Like, you call me about no matter what. And when you build that type of connection, you have people that are bought in on the vision, but they're bought in on you. They got to buy you. Your company can be great, but if they don't buy you because there's a disconnect of actually truly caring, you're just not meant for leadership. That's just what it is.
Talk about your leaders and your mentors. I know you have, several that you meet with consistently.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you've seen from them? Maybe they didn't tell you, but you just saw how they operate and how they led you, and now you're doing that for your team.
It's great. My mentors are very humble. You would never be able to point them out. Like, they don't drive Lambos. They're, like, very, very wealthy. They don't drive Lambos. They just, like, we all have the same watch. This was a gift from my mentor to me. We all have the same watch, and we just, you could tell by the conversations. You'd never be able to tell that they're wealthy. They don't own any designer. They own a lot of property. And one of the quotes that my mentor gave me, if you guys want to write this down, he said, the path to get everything you want is to go serve. So I see my mentors serve. You guys want to be great? we're in the universe of opposites. You have to give before you get. Make sense? Mm-hmm. You have to serve before you're a leader. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So just like keeping that in mind, if you want to get love, you need to give love. If you want to build someone up, right? Like if you want to be built up, you're feeling low, the best thing you can do is to go text someone and tell them how special they are. Mm-hmm. Pour out your heart to them. And you're in return are going to feel that feeling.
Love that. You did mention a quote. You said, well, not a quote, but let me paraphrase. You said your mentors bought properties, not designer.
Yeah.
I've kind of seen some designer on you the last couple of years.
Yeah, shoot.
And then you had kind of a realization where you're like, I don't need this. Talk to me about that cycle. Because I remember I talked to you one day too. Yeah. I'm like, me, Mr. Frugal. Yeah. And you're over here. I'm like, hey, what's up with all designer, man?
Yeah, let's get into it. So, again, it was like impressing people that didn't like, I'm like, yeah, if I wear this and I can hang out with these crew and these guys will like me because I'm wearing this stuff. It's brand new, blah, blah, blah. And then at the end of the day, again, it's like, it's just shallow relationships. If you need to wear a certain thing or spend some money to be around someone for them to like you, it's probably not the person you should probably be spending your time with.
Amen.
And again, the wealthiest people that you guys are going to meet and know, like none of them really have it. I mean, some do, but unless you truly, and that makes you happy. Like I love nice clothes. Like I'm not like decked out in designer, but and I'm not even wearing the chains and stuff like how I used to. But if that makes you happy, so be it. But if you're doing it to impress people, you're gonna feel some emptiness there. Like you moving authentically in yourself, and whoever attracts to you while you being yourself is who you're actually supposed to be around. When your energy's off, when you're around someone, that's your indication that you know that you probably should be separated. And then follow your journey. The people that are going to support you too. If their heart is connected to your vision and they're there to support you, you know that they're connected to your mission.
Let's talk sales.
Yeah, come on.
You mentioned referrals.
Yeah.
I want you to dive into some of your sales cycle because, all of us, if we're business owners, we're also in sales.
Yeah, right? You guys write this down. Sales is a transfer of emotion. Sales is a transfer of confidence. Sales is a transfer of feeling. A couple of things that you should write down. So when you're with clients, it's called mirror and match, right? So you always want to be a little bit louder than them. Your pace, if you want to write this down, you want to have a slower pace when you're talking with clients. Why is that? Well, if you talk really fast, it comes off in their brain as like a red alert, right? You're creating anxiety in their brain. And a great salesman is just there. Like if you guys want to write this down, you got to be a great listener. You have to be a great question asker. You got to know, you always want to be asking questions too. So we'll dive into that. Questions keep you in what? Control. Questions equal control. And there is no sale unless you are in control. Does that make sense, guys? So at the end of everything that you're talking about, you have to have what's called tie downs. We call it tying it down, and that's okay. Does that make sense? Are you following? Is that fair? You're going to hear salespeople ask those. Those are called tie downs. Another couple things, too, if you guys want to write down the 3 C's of closing: being calm, being confident, and being in control. So you want to be quick to listen, slow to speak, right? And quick to understand. When you can understand the client, where they're coming from, and they feel heard, even if it's an objection, now they're more likely to what? Remember, it goes back to the care. Now they're more likely to listen to you, right? So another thing, too, is you got to know what you're saying. So that comes with repetition. Confidence, right? That's knowing the words you're going to say. So the students, the people that are the best in sales, they've mastered their script. They've literally said it more times, practiced more times than anybody else. There's no secret.
If you're getting value tonight, make some noise.
Yeah, I got to go on and on. Another thing, write this down. Takeaways. If you make it too easy for someone to have it, they don't want it. Just like relationships. How many guys want to date the person that's always in your DMs? And it's just so easy, right? Like, probably not. Same thing with that's what, like, relationships is sales. You got to sell your partner on why they should be with you every single day, right? And then you got to know your value. Write this down. Always be willing to walk away. Always be willing to walk away. That's the mentality you got to have when you're sitting in front of a customer. That if I can't solve their problem and they're not giving me control and they're giving me weird body language, I got to be willing to walk away. So what you can do there to regain control, if you guys want to write this down, if you ever a client that it's just like not going right, what you do is body language. Again, 90% of communication is nonverbal. So you touch your chest, you're like, hey, John, did I do something? Did I say something wrong? Did I say something to offend you? Right? Done that so many times. You know what that does? They're like, oh my God, no, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, what was I? Now they're like going to relax, loosen up, call out, be willing to call out the elephant in the room. So, hey, like, is everything okay? Well, you're just here to sell me something. Oh, sell you something. Like, you like to, so if you don't know what to say, repeat what they just said. Sell you something, act confused. And then you want to ask what? A question, right? Well, did you get a chance to look into, what we do here? Did you get a chance to talk to your referral that referred you, your brother? Right? Now I'm regaining control. And now, guess what? They're going to calm down. Now I can actually respond. Again, I don't even know if you can qualify for what I'm going to go over today. And I don't even know if you would need what I'm talking about today.
That's good.
We haven't even went into it. But if I can, like, I'll do my best to serve your family. Is that fair? I'm on your guys' side. Boom. Back into your presentation. Calm, confident, control. Be willing to walk away from sales. Be willing to call out the elephant in the room. That's so important.
So good. And I've literally watched you do this.
Yeah.
Like, you do all this. Like, I'm amazed. I'm in sales, I still am, but I was in software sales and copier sales, and watching you do this, I'm like, dang, I got a notepad out. Did you know that? No. When you were, I was like, oh, I'll do that next time. So everything he's saying, he lives this out, and it's so true. And I want to go into, since we're on the sales topic, referrals. Yeah. That's something I probably don't do a very good job on. How do you guys ask for referrals? What kind of strategies do you use, et cetera? Well,
you got to give value. So our referral process is a little bit different than most because you want to give something to the people that they're going to be referring to. There's got to be value there for them because in the client's brain, they're only thinking, if you guys want to write this down, you got to always be like consciously thinking that what's in it for them. Everything that you're saying has got to be in coordination to what's in it for that person. So for us, we give them like no cost benefits, right? And we talk about those no cost benefits and we sit with them, we're providing some value. So in your business, you got to think about some things that you can maybe even give that won't really cost you much, that'll provide a lot of value for that other person. Whether it's, why would someone sit with you? Like, what's in it for them, even if they don't buy? That's when you can really get referrals. So like maybe educational, or if it's something along the lines with maybe this real estate. Okay, so there's this real estate guy. So I'm in the process of selling my house because I'm going to move to probably Florida.
I just found this out today.
Yeah. And I'm interviewing real estate agents. So this is a good life hack I learned from my mentor. Find in your area who sold the most houses. And I'm going to pick the top 3. And I'm going to interview them. And one of the things is I'm going to see the value that obviously they provide, what they're going to do for me outside of just listing the house. So again, it's what are you going to do for them, providing the value. One of the guys emailed me questions. One of the agents emailed me the questions. He's like, well, let me do this for you. Right? So those things that you do, the little things you do, those will provide like the extra stuff, whatever it is. That's how you gain the relationship, will get you referrals.
Love that. I want to go back to kind of leadership, and I know you have stories of betrayal. Some leaders in your business leaving.
Yeah.
Was that during the ego stages?
Man.
When was that? I want to dive into that a little bit.
You know, even after the ego, it was during the ego stage. So again, not leading the front, all that, past that, there was another one where it was just pure jealousy. It was just like straight, you know, I would hear rumors and stuff like that. And dude, I took this guy off the streets. I made this guy 6 figures. Literally gave him like the keys to my G-Wagon, the keys to my apartment to stay at, trained him, taught him everything, took him on the road, paid for the gas, paid for the food, just everything. So sometimes like people will literally betray you and it's like has nothing to even do with you. Like nothing that you even did wrong. But it's like you got to be aware. So another thing is like if someone's only taking from you and not really providing any value, then you know that that's probably not the person you should be with. And you also got to see how people move. Like another thing is how when you talk about the successes when you're around your friends, what's their face look like? What's their eyes doing? What's their body language doing? Are they happy for you? Are they excited about you being successful? Like that, those are like good things to look at. You know, are they always supportive of you? So, yeah.
I know that hits you hard. I mean, I can't even imagine literally helping someone get off the streets, giving him access to all the things you have, which you've done that like since day one, actually maybe after like the ego stage, but you're very giving. Like you are such, like you're probably the most generous person I know.
Yeah.
And how'd you bounce back from that? Because I know that hurt.
I think it's my faith. Always knowing that everything is happening for me, learning, taking everything as a lesson, not personal.
Yeah.
Not taking it personally. I'm going to learn from this. Like, what can I learn from this? And I always know, like, hey, whatever I'm going through, it's going to be a hell of a story later, right?
Your tests become your testimony.
Come on. I think that's it. And, you know, the biggest thing I can tell you guys is when someone hurts you, like, keep your heart soft. Like, keep your heart soft. Like, don't allow yourself to get hard because someone else did something to hurt it. Another thing is be really, really careful who you let in your inner circle. Be very careful who you share your deep, intimate, personal things with. Because not everybody that smiles at your face is going to be there for you. And you guys got to be able to really be able to read the situations in your friends like that. You need to, like, reevaluate your friend in your circle. Is this person adding value? Is this person grateful for me? Right? Is this person happy for me? Right? You should be constantly looking at who's in your circle because it could be a very, very dangerous thing by just having someone around because they've just always been there.
Talk about that. You have, I mean, Marcus is different because he's providing value to you all the time.
Don't cross me, Mark. I'm just kidding. No, he would never. I love Marcus.
But there is some day one people, like I had this, you know, in the last couple of years where I didn't cut people off who were my best friends day one, but I have to remove myself from that circle and reevaluate, audit my circle to surround myself with new people, you know, going to the levels I want to get to.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. How'd you, you know, go from that circle and be like, I still love you, but I'm going to, you know, move up.
Yeah.
Or surround myself with different people.
You know, and you just got to, I guess, being around people with the same common goals and vision. And like, I just knew what was coming. I know what I want. I have it plainly written out. I say it every day. And if they're not adding to that, I take myself very serious. You guys got to value you. There's only one of you. You're wonderfully and fearfully made. That's what God says. So you have gifts that no one else has. And if you're here for a purpose, for a reason, which I believe, if you're with someone that is like, you got to understand, like, some people are sent to help you and some people are there to destroy you. So again, it's like looking at that. If they're not on the same mission or believing in you, they got to go.
Yeah.
Because think about that. That's like your gifts. That's like your purpose. That's what makes you happy and feel alive. Like, it's not worth that. And it's going to hurt. Yeah, you got to separate yourself. But then in the day, once you cut that, dude, you cut the cancer out, you re-heal, you're going to grow even stronger.
Make some notes for David. always be auditing your circle.
Come on.
We had someone in our circle that we needed to audit.
Talk to him.
There was some red flags.
Yes.
Long story short, roughly $50,000 collectively.
100 in our group.
Oh shoot, was lost, stolen. We're not sure. We let someone in who wasn't right.
Yeah.
We've talked about this, but maybe just talk about it right now. Like, what red flags can people look for? And even us, when we saw like, oh man, this is our boy. Like,
You know some? I'd like to hear your opinion on this. Let's hear from Jesse. Come on.
D-Man, make some noise for me. Let's go.
And I'll feed on this.
I haven't even said anything.
We both
That's
talked
my
about
hype man right there. Before I even talk, he's like, not ready.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah. D-Mac. That's a good friend. That's what I'm talking about. Let's give it up for him.
Give it up for D-Man.
You know what I'm saying? Find yourself a D-Mac. Find yourselves a D-Mac. You need a hype man like that.
Honestly. In this particular situation that we're talking about, I mean, it was investing, so I'll take the investing out of it, and I'll focus just on the relationship piece.
Yeah.
There was some red flags in the sense where he would always be talking about all the amazing things he was doing, how successful he was, and because it looked like it.
Yeah, the look was there.
The look was there. Sheesh. How many people, you know something that the look's there? And I don't think we ever got deep with him. Like, we would have deep conversations. Yeah. He was cool to hang out with, but we never really got deep. We never really knew his true values, his character.
Yep.
And I think that's something that's so important. And that's something that I'm so happy about the people in this room, because you guys have all great integrity. You guys all have great characters. There's a reason why you're here. Yes. There's a reason why we even had an application process. I got 3 DMs today. People just wanted to come because they got FOMO probably. Yeah. But I'm like, nah, you guys, these are my people. Yes. Make some noise for yourselves.
Yes. And make sure you guys stay connected. The people in this room, like, you guys are special. Some people thought about coming here. Mm-hmm. Some people, wish things they would change. And then some people take action and force change. And you guys are those people. And it's like, you want to keep contact with people like that. Hold each other accountable. Absolutely. Like, grow with each other. Remember, look back and be like, wow, remember we were at that immersion? Like, we freaking 10x'd it, dude. Let's go.
Absolutely. Got you. Me? I want to say another thing.
Yeah, go.
We had people around us who warned us.
Facts. Yeah, that's true.
And I think you need to take that into consideration, even if they are, very close to you, which we probably let him in the circle way too soon. Yeah. But still, like, I would say if you have other people who are maybe not in your inner circle, but you believe and they have great integrity and they mention, hey, I don't know, dive into that. Don't be, true. Ignorant, I guess. I think I was ignorant. Yeah. What would you say?
I agree. And another thing, too, like, this is a huge red flag. This dude I remember we were all hanging out. And I was in, I was actually engaged at the time. And I just remember going to the restroom and my girl told me, she's like, yeah, I felt super uncomfortable. Like, he was like checking me out and stuff while you were gone. And like, yo, that was another red flag. I should have.
Is that a red flag? Yeah. I mean, see, it's crazy.
Think about that.
Because maybe he was close to us, we just ignored some of these things.
Some people can lust after the things you have, and they could be with you because they want to be in your position. You need to watch out for people like that.
Absolutely. Well, you mentioned relationships, so we can go there.
So let's go into there. Failed a lot there. Let's open the book. Hey, just write down, do not do this. Let's go into it. Come on.
Well, gosh, I want to say something really cool that you did, though, at first. Not even at first, but what you do, and I've heard this a lot, too.
Name it cool, yes.
But you have literally like a non-negotiable list.
Yes, I have a list.
And it's long.
Yes, it's long. I have my wife written out.
Literally. So I like that. But anyways, back to what we're talking about here.
Okay.
Read the list.
No. The most important thing, guys, let's get into it. Let's get into it.
Yeah, okay, let's get into it.
I skipped some stuff on the list, by the way. There was you got to have things that would be okay. You got to have levels to it. Not everything on your list, it's like priorities, like mid priorities, and like just like bonuses. That's what it needs to be.
Then you looked at the bonuses.
I looked at the bonuses. Don't look at the bonuses.
All right. Can we just say what's like the top 3 non-negotiables?
Yeah.
For you.
Her relationship with God, non-negotiable. Her heart, loving people, non-negotiable. And my family's got to love her. Like she's got to be a good wife. I'm looking for a wife, someone that is going to raise my children and represent me very, very well. So God, number 1, how she treats others, number 2, and how is she going to be with kids and children and my family? How is she going to hold our legacy down?
Love that. I want to get into it more, but I ask this question a lot, and I'm always curious. I want your perspective. I don't even think I've ever asked you,
Yeah.
So for me, and I know a lot of other people, they think like, as a man looking for a potential wife, do I want like this power couple vibe? I know Karina and I were talking about last night.
Yeah.
Or do I want someone who's more, on a supportive role or a combination?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? What were you looking for? What are you looking for? I
Yeah.
just want your perspective on that.
It's deeper. Like it could go either way. I guess it's like those 3 things and connection with the person. I also think that it's like support too. That even if they have their own thing, which would be great because you probably don't want someone that's just like completely lazy because that's going to rub off on you. But I think it's like someone that could support and be there. And like, I think the partner is like the missing piece to completing the mission for some people. And like she can elevate you or he can elevate you and elevate your gifts. So maybe like, because iron sharpens iron and that's the person you're associated with all day long. So, but again, it's like those 3 things are non-negotiable. And then I think it would be how supportive that person would be towards my God-given gifts and what we're going towards and moving. And I would do the same for her. So I think that it could work either way. And I think it would be cool to make sure she has her own things. But even if she's just a great mother and she wants to do whatever, like just charities and stuff, like whatever. That's
You
fine.
said cherries?
Charities, not cherries. She's got to love cherries.
I was like, what's
I
the
love
cherries?
Charities. I don't know. Maybe I said cherries. These lights, man.
These lights.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have questions? I want to make this interactive. Emily, go ahead.
What materials would you recommend for continuing to learn sales?
Sales materials.
Oh, there's this guy, Jeremy, that his, like, I've heard crazy stuff. I watch his stuff all the time. What's his name? Jeremy Minor. Study him. Genius. I study a lot of his stuff. So his courses I would recommend. And I would just put yourself out there and be like, just start random conversations with people like in the elevator. We would do like games like that with our new agents back when we were like in person. It's like, okay, you got to go out and you just got to like, we just be like, hey, go talk to that person now, go. Just randomly. And we just like, boom, get out of our comfort zone, go. And we have to like, be like, hey, it has to be at least 2 minutes, go. And then we push each other and that's how we got good.
Love that.
Yeah.
Who else got some questions?
It's a good question.
Amr.
Yeah, so from your perspective, how do you see sales differ from when you're working in an organization versus working for yourself? Does this differ?
I just want to make it in the mic. How does sales differ when you're working maybe a corporate job in an organization versus as you are, for Amr, he's doing a coaching program or a coaching service?
Yeah. It's all the same principles, different products. You got to believe in it too. Again, like, if you don't believe in what you're talking about, you're not going to transfer anything. Like, if you don't believe in what you're saying, no one's buying anything. Like, I'm just saying. So just if you're in a corporate sales position, make sure you believe in it. You're not just doing it because of the money. Money follows skill set, and it follows you working and sharpening it, but it also follows, like, belief in what you're doing.
What kind of role does your, faith in God play in business in your life? I know it's really important.
Again, I'm a vessel. Like, I believe, like, whatever you guys believe, I'm not trying to offend you guys, but I believe that I'm a vessel for God, and, like, he uses me to impact you guys. So, again, near-death experience, like, I'm here for a reason. I feel like my life is here to serve. And I know there was one person that is probably getting value tonight, and that I'm here for that person, whatever that is. Like, I'm not here to be impressive. Like, I don't really care anymore. Like, I'm here to be with the real ones, real people, make a freaking legacy, and have a huge impact.
I love that. Make some noise for David, man. Let's take a couple more questions. D-Mac.
Mr. DC,
Yeah.
When you leave this earth, what do you think, in your mind, like the three main things you would want somebody to say about David Carpenter after he was gone?
Yeah.
At your funeral, what are the three
Right.
things that you want people to say about you?
Just be like, man of faith, changed a lot of lives. His intentions were pure, and I would say he just like gave it all he got. He gave to people. He really, really loved people. He really cared about other people. And like, I just want to empty it all out before I leave here. Like, I don't want to leave anything here. Like, I just want to do as much as I can before my time. So just, they can say that, it's great. And also gonna take care of my family. Like, family man, like always took care of his family.
Love that. Mentioning family, you've done all these, goals that so many people have. Bought your mom a house, bought your dad a car.
Paid off her debts.
Paid off her debts.
Come on.
I mean, what else? What are some other goals that drive you now?
I'm retiring her, so that's happening next year.
Give it up.
Yeah. And I fund a lot of different ministries too. My uncle's ministry, my dad's. Like, I just want to have enough to be able to support my mom's and my dad's dreams too. Like, they weren't able to do it because they had to do the corporate America thing. But like, if I have anything to say about it, I'm gonna go make enough money to be able to send her to travel, to do whatever the hell she was. I want my mom specifically, because that's who raised me. My dad was in prison till I was 26. So, yeah, like, I want to make sure that the like best days are ahead for her. Like, if I have anything to do with it, her best days are ahead.
Man, I love that. It's powerful. You, DC, what are you trying to look at to accomplish in let's say 5 to 10 years? That'd be crazy if I caught that. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
5 to 10 years down the road.
Yeah.
Because I know you have big dreams, big aspirations, and I love that about you. Every time I'm around you, my dreams get bigger. And those are the type of people I want in my circle. Make some noise of those type of people you want in your circle.
Let's go.
Like, for real.
Crazy ones. Loco. Yeah.
Wait, what do you got?
My agency is going to be doing $100 million by 2030. I want 1,000 apartments. I want to be completely financially free. I want to have the #1 podcast in the world. I want to be on, with Ed Milet. That's also a goal of mine.
Love it.
Be married. I want kids. I want to be, my mom's retired. I want to have properties all around the United States, also Europe, and also in the Caribbean. So that's some of the important stuff. Another thing is, like, I want to be a best-selling author. I want to be one of the most renowned motivational speakers. So all this stuff later, it's like going to happen. But as of right now, I'm focused on my main thing, which is my insurance business. So that way I can take money out of the equation completely and be able to fund everything else.
I love that. Anyone else have some questions? Nick, I saw you first.
Yeah.
What's the current challenge that you're going through right now?
Current challenge. Wow, there's a lot. You deal with a lot of different personalities when you're in leadership. It's always growth, like keeping people not necessarily happy. I'd say like happy, but also on track, growing myself, and just, I think that's like mostly it. And then just focus. Like, big thing, guys, your past success is often gonna hurt your future. So not getting complacent. I think I don't even really look at problems or challenges anymore. Like, I'm more so, we could be better at training agents and stuff like that, so we're really focused on that right now. But again, like, I don't even look at it as a problem,
You mentioned focus. I know it's hard for me, but also just distractions in general.
Yeah.
You got a lot of distractions.
Yeah, let's call
You
them
got
that.
money, you're good looking.
Thank you.
You got some distractions, man. How do you...
See, hitting on me.
I did tell you smell good earlier. I know, that's weird. But, like, how do you, stay focused with all these distractions that you have? You have over a $2 million house, man. You can go to club, buy bottles, and that's really nothing. Like, how do you stay focused?
I book up my schedule. Like, that's it. I just stay busy, dude, because I booked this up. I got a podcast tomorrow. I have a podcast in Vegas. I'm flying to Vegas Saturday.
Joel and my boy Action Junkies.
Shout out to Jesse, connector. So I just stay busy. Like, I know myself. I'm like, if I don't stay busy and I don't stay productive, number one, I don't feel right. I just feel off. I'm not the type of person that could just do nothing. And also, I think I'm staying in my word a lot. Like, I'm like in prayer a lot, and I'm really just, I see all the messages and the DMs and stuff like that, and I actually take it as a great thing. You know, some guys are like, yeah, it's such a great thing. Like, I went out with this girl and stuff like that. Like, I almost take it a great thing as I'm like, wow, I like leveled up a little bit because I said no to this girl that I really wanted to, that was really attractive, but it's not the girl for me. Like, so just kind of adding those up, tallying those up, and like any night that I spend where I'm just doing something productive rather than going out and partying, drinking. We still like to have fun once in a while. I'm a human being. But those nights, I level up a little bit from there. Like, I get a high from saying like no to my own flesh and my own desires that will pull me down, because your desires and that lust can take you down a really dark, deep hole, especially when you start having extra money. So, yeah.
Celia.
So, sounds like you have a really great foundation of like your vision and your purpose, and I think that's probably what helps you stay focused. I'm going to ask a question of you that Jesse actually asked me the other night, and you can correct me if my wording's a little off, but my summary of it is like, you're busy, you keep yourself busy so that like you have less room for distraction.
Yeah.
But how do you keep yourself open and also like create a space for like finding your wife, dating, and things like that? Like, how do you keep that balance as well?
It's a great question.
Yeah, great question. I'm just quick to cut off anything that I think I'm quick to cut like someone off just based on couple conversations. It's pretty simple. I could look at a girl's profile, she's half naked, like, I'm sorry, that's not the girl for me. I don't judge her. I think that's completely fine. But there's certain things that, again, like, that are non-negotiable for me. So I guess it's not wasting their time too. If you really care about someone, stop playing them. Like, if you really care and you like, we're talking people first and we're out here like doing all this stuff, counts for relationships too. Like, this dude that you're not really into, maybe entertaining, or this girl that and I'm guilty too, right? But it's like looking at that and being able to just be like, nah, that's not them, and like valuing yourself. Because guess what? If you tell someone no and you really want it, it's still there. Trust me. Like, the no is more attractive than the yes, I'll go out with you. Because now they're playing in their head like, how do I get this person to say yes? Like, what's it like? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a level up right there. So just knowing what you want, I think, is the answer there, and just not settling.
Create the space for it because you are a busy person.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
I'm going to say it in the mic.
Yeah, go ahead.
How do you create the space for a potential relationship? Yeah.
The type of person that you're trying to attract, where would they be? And like intentionally being there. Like conferences, business conferences for me, or hiking, or exercising in the gym. And I'm like open to talking to people too. So I think like intentionally making time, like I do, to like go, I'm in the gym every day. Like, I like to hike. I like to do things that are outdoors. I like to go to church. I like to do things like that. So I'm open, and I'm actually probably would be more attracted to like meeting someone there. So where would you want to meet someone like-minded? And obviously it's not at a bar or club. So stay out of there. Yeah. Yeah, so I am busy, but on the weekends, like, I really try to take time for myself because I'm more established now. Before, it was like 6-7 days a week. Now I intentionally enjoy my life because I've already built the foundation. I have leadership. I have a company. I have staff. A lot of things are delegated, so I have more time to be able to focus on that.
Top dog, and then Lisa.
Yeah. Spend like an hour with you, like, all right, this guy's a charismatic leader, right? He's got it going on. But you scale your business to a point where, like, you have dozens of people under you.
Yeah.
I'm starting to notice with my thing, right?
Yeah.
We have new people showing up at our weekly meeting. I've never even met them before.
Yeah.
How do you instill your leadership values in your organization for people you haven't had a personal connection with?
Great question. So I have intentionally time that's booked every week, my top like 10%. So 5% is like my top leadership, and then 5% is like the top like newer guys that have the most potential. So both will drive the company, right? So because the top 10% drives all 90% of the production. So I ask them about the new people. Hey, who should I be talking to? And you teach that person how to teach that person how to teach that person, right? But even on the bottom, I'll still like create relationships. I'll create intentional time in my schedule to meet with like the newest talent. You don't want to be, you spread yourself too thin trying to be a relationship with everyone. It's not going to work.
Lisa.
So you have great energy and I love it.
Thank you.
And you're busy, but where are you still?
In the mornings, great question. So I like mark out time where it's mind, body, spirit. I'm like growing personally, development where it's like books, audios, podcasts. I don't listen to a lot of music, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like I'm constantly turning my car into a mobile classroom. I'm constantly listening to audios. Like when I'm not on calls, I'm pouring in. So I do my prayer, gratitude, meditation in the morning. I write out my goals, present tense, I speak them out loud. I really get into like a belief and a confidence. And then I go work out. I physically move my body. So by the time I hit my schedule, it's like, it's go time. I'm going to dominate.
Can you break down, you kind of did, but can you break down like what your morning routine looks like? And also, do you have an evening routine? Just curious.
Yeah. SpongeBob at night. I'm just kidding. So it's like morning I pray and I get in a state of gratitude first thing. I start thanking God for everything I have. That'll fill your heart up because there's always problems and stuff like that. But I'm just like, when you start in that type of space, it's powerful. Then I go to like reading my word, right? Whatever you believe, like get into that, like start praying, asking, thanking God for the things that have already in your mind have been done. Because my subconscious doesn't know that it's done already. Then I write out my goals once my faith is built up, and then I write them in present tense. I speak them out loud. Then that's when I go to 10 pages of a personal development book, turn on a podcast, head to the gym, usually listening to a little bit of podcasts in the gym. Later in my workouts, I might turn some like Drake on or something like that. Get a little rowdy, but that's pretty much it. And then I go.
Drake's rowdy.
And I'm into calls right away. So it's very, very dialed in. It's very dialed in.
Do you have a wind down routine? I don't. I feel like D-Mac's like the king of nighttime and morning routines.
Yeah. I would love to hear your, because I don't really have a good nighttime. I like I like to laugh, so turn on some stupid stuff and just like, I like get out of this state of being. I'm in a state of being right now. It's different than how I normally am. You guys understand, like you shift. So it's at night, it's like I'm a completely different person than when I'm just hanging out with you. So I just like to like turn something stupid on and then I'll like read a little bit to like kind of just, again, deposit in my brain before, but I don't really have a great nighttime routine. If you want to hit on that, I'd love to hear your answer.
Similar to your morning as well, because I do it in my morning as well. I have basically a prayer altar in my room at the Growth House that is like my time for me to like activate praise and worship. So I'll throw on like 10, 15 minutes of
Awesome.
just worship music, and that activates my holy hour for me and just like consecrate that time with Christ.
Love it.
And I do the same thing at nighttime as well, to where I have my kind of evening holy
Wow.
hour, where it's more of a lower kind of volume in the sense where it's the last thing I'll do on my phone, because I'll shut my phone off about an hour before bed. So it'll be another 5 to 10 minutes of a slower praise and worship,
Yeah.
which then consecrates that time for me again. And I tell people, like, I just sit there with Christ. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need to speak. I speak too much during the day, and I just need to listen to him.
Yeah.
And he's sharing with me. So, like, that just puts me in such a peaceful state, and then just allows me to kind of, go to bed in a heavenly way.
Love it. It's awesome. It's really good. All right.
Did you get
So
it?
you guys are talking about.
Throw me up, Jess.
I don't want to squish it. It's going to feel weird.
Let go.
Oh. I definitely thought I had it.
So you guys are talking about leadership, like when
Yes.
you're at your situation now where you have managers bringing people in and whatnot.
Yeah.
When you're just getting going into leadership
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you're still like in charge of training people.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice on that, like how to probably train people the most efficiently so that you can start working yourself to a place
Yeah.
where you have things more delegated?
Yeah. You guys want to write this down? Always, like, you want to pull people to what they want. So you start with what they want, and your business is going to help them get it. So figure out their vision, figure out what they fully want, And that's the best thing that you can do because that's the relationship builder there. So what I mean by that is someone's late. You can call them and be like, dude, are you still serious about retiring your mom? Are you still serious about being a senior partner? Are you still serious about this and that? Right? Like, I care about you. Where are you at? Instead of just making it about you and building your company, again, you're making it all about them. Another thing, too, is asking questions. Never assume. Never, like, blame or, like, make someone feel less than. You want to bring your people up. Like, you need to be eye level with your people. So if that makes sense, and what I mean by questions is, when you're training, instead of you telling them the answer, hey, I'm like, if I've trained someone fully, this person here is teaching them. I'm like, okay, oh, you asked where this is? Jesse, you know where that is? Do you remember we talked about that yesterday? Where is that at? Right? And now you ask me a question, you're like, oh, David, I have this happen, this rebuttal. I'm like, first of all, come to me with 3 solutions. So let's walk through this. How would you have handled it? So I'm asking questions. I never want to be the answer, because if I'm the answer, I'm the source. Guess who's never going to build a company that they can walk away from?
That's good.
So those are keys.
One more question? Anybody? Amr.
Question. So that's for more on the deep side. You mentioned
Yeah.
you're really sharp, and you can see that at sales and like reading body language and like
Yeah.
all of this, and know how to do it. Translating this into your personal life, what is the disconnect that you feel like that? Is it like the emotions that's not making you not control, understand the toxic people around you, or reading bad vibes, all of this? What do we say is the difference between work life or whatever you're really good at and the personal life?
Yeah. You want to repeat it back?
Oh, I was like, you want me to answer?
No, I got you.
Sure. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of laughs in this podcast. Yeah, so he was saying, is there, because you're very sharp and good looking,
Thank you.
and in like, you know, in the business sense,
Yes.
why is there sometimes maybe a disconnect in relationships
Yeah.
or, you know, people in inner circle? You can read business, but sometimes you can't read personal.
Yeah. Because you let your guards down. You're human. Like, I'm human. This is like my biggest blessing is that I love people. Hope you guys know that. Like, you could feel that, right? I have a deep love for people. I see the best in people, which also can be, there's a 2 sides to everything, which also means it's really quick to like trust, right? And in all this stuff. So that's where it's like people can sneak in and like play a role and act like they're this way when in reality they're this way. So now I'm better. I'm a little bit more aware because I'm more reserved, like I guess more reserved, but still open. And now I'm just really aware, more aware. And things are going to happen. But again, like you said, just like learn. But I'm a human being. I make a lot of mistakes. Like I mess up all the time. That's the beautiful part. So you guys can be millionaires, billionaires, and still make a ton of mistakes because we're all humans.
So we're going to drop the mic there.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a video, so I need some extra noise on this one.
Turn me up, Jazz.
Turn it up.
Make some noise for David!
Yeah! Let's go! Yeah.
You guys are amazing. Like,